Hello everybody! In this video I want to talk to you about hardcore mode. If you haven't heard of hardcore mode before, it's a return from Diablo 2, and the basic idea is that you get a character in a slightly harder mode that cannot die. So if you die, your character is done forever. And the reason this is unique is because in the normal mode you can die as many times as you want and you'll just return from the last checkpoint. So it makes everything more dramatic, it makes you take the game a little more seriously, and it changes a lot of how you play. The hardcore mode is only available once you have a character at level 10, and this is a new account on which I've leveled up this character to level 10 so that I can show you. So we're going to create a new character, hardcore hero. You just click the button and you can see hardcore up here. So what this means is that if this character dies, and I'm going to choose a barbarian, if this character dies in battle, he's gone forever, along with all the items on that character. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a game, and let's just show you what it's like. As you can see, Blizzard warns you really quick that this is a permanent death if you die. So you have one life. Customer service will not revive a fallen hardcore hero for any reason. They're making it very clear that if you die, that's it. Okay. In terms of characters to select for the hardcore mode, the melee characters with high health, who could survive a lot more hits, tend to be slightly easier to play as. However, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best in hardcore mode, as some of the characters have essentially get-out-of-death-free cards that will keep them alive at higher levels. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you die before level 10, nothing happens, whereas if you die after level 10, you can be added to the Hall of Heroes. The game itself isn't significantly different. As you can see, it starts the same, it's the same basic story. Be very vigilant and make sure you pick up all available health globes whenever they pop up, if only because you never know when you're going to need a potion, and if you use potions instead of health globes, which normally wouldn't be as big of a deal, you may be stuck without anything when you need it most. So as you can see, the game itself is not much different. One major change that you will notice that is not in effect as I record this, is that there is no real money auction house. The real money auction house is not active for the hardcore mode. You can only use the gold auction house, and this makes it impossible for you to buy your way through the lower levels and keep yourself alive. So it essentially just ensures the challenge stays exactly as Blizzard intended it to. As for how hard hardcore mode actually is, it varies depending on the character you use and the style of play you use. Some people find it slightly harder than normal mode, other people find it a little harder than that even. It's definitely not on par with Inferno. It might be more on par with Nightmare. As you can see early on, it's very much on par with normal mode. So real quick, I just want to show you what happens when you die in hardcore mode. And I'm just going to do this very early right here because I don't want to level this character up too much and then kill them off. So let's just gather up a bunch of mobs, make them mad, and then I'll show you what happens when I die. Run around a little bit, make them angry. Alright. You have died. And that is it. There's no respawn, there's no restart. If you play hardcore mode, you need to be ready for the possibility that your character will die and be dead forever. And this is a nice throwback to the old school games when death meant death. But it can also be very frustrating if you don't realize it's about to happen. So always make sure you're ready for it before the fact. Alright, now as you can see, this is a dead character, a hardcore character. The ghost will still show up in your selection screen. There's some interesting information here. Archive Hero allows you to add to the Hall of Fallen Heroes, but only if they're level 10. You'll also see the data, how long that character lasted, from when you started to when they died, what their level was, and how much time was spent playing that character. So it's all very interesting information. As you can see, even dead, the hardcore character takes up a character slot, so you're going to want to delete them unless you're very fond of them or they're very high level when they died. And that's a little bit about hardcore mode. In terms of actual strategy and how you play the game, it's not significantly different than the normal game. The major difference is that you're going to put a lot more stock in the defensive abilities that are available than you would offensive abilities. And you also pay a lot more attention to the gear you have and your armor rating. So instead of dual wielding as a barbarian, for example, you might have a shield. These are very important factors. Enjoy!